Hello and welcome to Intaplumb, a leading training provider for plumbing, heating, gas and renewable energies. My name is Peter Mays, a senior lecturer at Intaplumb. The Intaplumb team have put together a series of lessons which may assist you with tasks that you wish to perform. At the end of this lesson, please click the link below to find details of our Facebook and website pages and a list of further free lessons that might be of assistance to you. Thank you for joining us. In this session, I'm going to explain to you how to repair a valve that has water which is leaking up and out of the spindle. The reason it's leaking from here is because the packing material on the spindle has either become loose or is actually damaged. Now, the first thing that we could try is to just tighten the nut down to repack that packing material. But before we do this, it's important that we loosen the nut off and then retighten it. And hopefully that will have prevented that water from leaking up there. But if it hasn't, then we will need to remove this nut in order to put some new packing material in there. We don't need to turn the water off to undo that nut. No water will come out from there. But we just apply our spanner. Make sure you hold the valve so that you don't turn it against the joints. And we just remove that nut completely. You don't need to take the handle off to do this, but if I remove this handle, it will allow me to take the nut right out the way to give you a much better view of how we are going to fix this valve. A suitable packing material to use is PTFE tape. This is readily available from a plumber's merchants or from your local hardware store. If we pull a length of PTFE tape off of the reel and then we just roll it into a string, we can then wind the PTFE tape around the spindle, making sure that we don't pull it tight against the spindle, because we do need that PTFE tape to move down into that space of the valve body. We can push that down with the nut, and then when you think you have sufficient in there, you can then replace the nut and remove any surplus. By retightening the nut with our adjustable spanner, we compress that PTFE tape onto that spindle, and if we do it too tight, we'll compress it so hard that it will make the valve very difficult to operate. So once we've compressed that down, we then need to release this nut back slightly so that we just get sufficient pressure on that packing material onto the spindle that prevents water from coming up on the spindle, but it still allows the valve to be operated with a reasonable amount of ease. So just to recap, we could attempt to repack the material that is already in the packing gland, but don't forget we need to loosen the nut off before then tightening it up. Otherwise we need to remove the nuts and with our PTFE tape repack the gland, put the nut back in, tightening it up and then loosening it off until you have a steady operation of the valve and no water leaking up the spindle. Well, I hope that's been of use to you. My name is Peter Mace from Intaplumb, and I hope you'll join us in the future for some more free lessons.